This is less Indian Mutahar. He worked as an engineer for Blizzard for 43 years. That's a joke. Anyway, Pirate Software keeps getting worse. Now, for those of you that are unaware of the insane Pirate Software drama, I am going to fill you in, and it's gotten so funny. It is literally goated levels of drama. I love that we're making fun of this man, all right? Now, to be honest, I am a man of virtues, of justice, of appreciation of my fellow human, and this guy is never wrong, all right? He's out of mana, but he's never wrong. So today, we are going to be looking at a very interesting situation, the entire downfall of this man, as well as MeatCanyon cooking him with his new animation, but most importantly, he responded. He responded. You thought that this man's ego could never, ever be topped. You thought you've seen the absolute peak zenith of his ego, but I'm going to show you the main reason why I decided to make this video altogether. Pirate Software released a message in his Discord with receipts of awards from his time at Blizzard, alright? Saw some people claiming I never accomplished anything and was carried by my peers. True! We're going to be talking about that soon. Here are some awards I was given for my work. Receipts matter, and now you have them. These aren't rewards. They're fucking thank you notes. They're thank you notes. And he shows thank you notes to his Discord community. He shows a bunch of thank you notes, bro. Played ice for 24 hours. Wow. Incredibly beneficial. Thank you for doing so much. He showed thank you notes, bro. For all you know, his dad wrote them to him. These are postcards, dog. These aren't awards. Oh my god, he's trying so hard to maintain some sort of relevance. It's insanity. It's crazy. Oh my god, they love me at Blizzard, guys. I was truly the greatest Blizzard employee of all time. When I see an egotistical douchebag on the internet like Pirate Software, and the funniest thing is he's all the things, all right? He's woke. He's inclusive, he's wholesome, but he's the most insufferable twat fake bitch of all time. And it's easily the funniest thing of all, it's the funniest thing ever. It really is. So for those of you unaware of what's been going on with Pirate Software, he has deleted over 380 videos off of his YouTube channel because of all the drama he's getting into. Now, a lot of people have asked me, why are you covering Pirate Software, but not making specific Mutahar videos, because apparently he called himself an engineer, and he's not a licensed engineer. He only worked as an engineer. And to be honest, it's because Pirate Software is way funnier. The Pirate Software drama is way funnier. The Mutahar drama is way more of a nothing burger. Indian Pirate Software really thinks that he could take the seat of the absolute fucking king. All right, well, we gotta dive into the MeatCanyon video, because you have to understand the level of retard we're dealing with, okay? To the point that everyone is clowning on him, and he deserves all of it because he cannot take his foot out of his mouth. Lock in, boys and girl. Lock in, boys and girl. It's gonna be a bumpy ride.
Yeah, Chad, so today I was supposedly cursed. I saw this woman breastfeeding her child in a non-optimal way, so...
Immediate cinema. Absolute cinema. Absolute cinema. Perfect. Now, you see, this is a reference, obviously, because in Blizzard, there was a scandal. All right, I'm gonna fill you in on all the references, man, because MeatCanyon is a master of his craft. He truly is. All right? I feel so wrong. I feel so wrong every single time I even type this in. Every time I type this into, Google to find this shit, it makes me feel weird. Nursing Activision Blizzard employees say their breast milk kept getting stolen. This is a real thing that happened in Blizzard. All right, this is a real thing that happened in Blizzard. So, I'll be real, I kind of feel like this is happening.
Oh, being the kind man I am, I showed her how to do it correctly. She got irrationally angry when I proved her wrong and...
Yeah! That's right, because Pirate Software knows how to breastfeed much better than a mother that literally breastfeeds. God damn!
Curse on me. Not that I believe in curses or anything.
The curse is real. Look at your legs.
Oh no. Oh! Dude, why is MeatCanyon so good, bro? Why is it so cursed?
I can barely feel it. Pain is actually an illusion played on by the mind that...
You fool! Don't you see your arrogance?
Oh.
Need I remind you that's what got us fired from Blizzard?
Oh!
Yeah, so I worked at Blizzard for 7 years.
Of course he has dementia, obviously.
I barely think about it.
BlizzCon. No, it's full of Blizzard paraphernalia.
It's actually funny, Chad. I'm considered the first second-generational hire at the company.
There is no way he included that. There is no way! All right, I gotta show you the reference, man. It's peak. It's absolute cinema. I'm sorry. Pirate Software, first generation.
I was watching a video that was critiquing you for mentioning you work at Blizzard so much. I literally never talk about it. When I worked at Blizzard, I did that for Blizzard. Blizzard, 7 years, yeah. Blizzard. I used to work at Blizzard Entertainment. Used to work at Blizzard Entertainment. You're red team specialist for Blizzard Entertainment. And Blizzard is having worked at Blizzard. I grew up at Blizzard. Blizzard, game industry for Blizzard Entertainment. Blizzard. Yeah, no, I worked at Blizzard back when I used to work at Blizzard, when I was at Blizzard. For those who don't understand, like, I used to work at Blizzard Entertainment. I know how to do that because I worked at Blizzard. Example of this when I was at Blizzard. How do you know so many things? I worked at Blizzard for 7 years. I don't think I'm better than other people. I do think that it's funny because you can that. There's a lot of people that brought that up. And it's like, I never said that I was. I think sometimes the things that I talk about in regards to those types of things is misconstrued as arrogance or boasting, when in reality, I'm just trying to give context.
So that is the problem right there. So I want you to listen to this phrase. Sure. This gets misconstrued as arrogance, but in reality, it's this.
Yeah.
That is the most
arrogant statement I've ever heard.
I actually am the first second-generation Blizzard employee. I was the first second-generation Blizzard employee ever. The first second-generation Blizzard employee. First second-generation Blizzard employee. So I'm second-generation Blizzard. I'm the first second-generation Blizzard employee.
Why is this even a flex?
That ever existed with the company. I'm also a second-generation Blizzard employee. I was a second-generation Blizzard employee. I was the first second-generation Blizzard employee ever. I was the first second-generation Blizzard employee. And I love that shit. I love that company.
I loved that company, he says.
For Blizzard sucked. And
working for the company sucked.
Work at Blizzard. Or I worked at Blizzard. There's me eating a sandwich. Yeah, that was actually a Blizzard.
It was a Blizzard sandwich!
I think it was my first, I think it was 2009. It was me picking a safe. It was me cracking a safe.
Cracking a safe? He cracked the safe, guys. Where did he do that?
At Blizzard.
At Blizzard! So, yeah, Pirate Software, he doesn't even think about it, to be honest.
Actually funny, Chad. I'm considered the first second-generational hire at the company. Not that I even think about it.
Not that he even thinks about it. He never mentions Blizzard.
You're not even streaming right now.
Oh my god.
No, I knew that. I knew that, and I was just practicing before I go live.
He is never wrong. He will double down until the end of time.
It's the most optimal way a streamer stays fresh.
Right, he did it on purpose, actually. Oh my god, this is some Uzumaki shit. Oh my god.
You can at least admit that telling a woman how to breastfeed her child was wrong.
Yeah, admit that explaining to women that they are wrong at breastfeeding is stupid. Admit you were wrong, brother. I can't.
I would be willing to concede such an argument if it wasn't something I'm so well versed in.
It specifically is his area of expertise, obviously. This is absolute cinema! Oh my god! This is actually his area.
Let me explain. You see, a gypsy's breast is typically
he pulls out the fucking page.
The cup size of B to C, albeit small. It provides ample milk for her freshborn.
Of course he knows that exactly. He's putting his foot in his mouth! There is no way! Oh my... I've literally used this expression talking about him 1,000 times. That he will open his mouth wider to put in a second foot. I have literally used that exact quote.
Your ego is going to kill us. Admit to yourself you can be wrong. For us.
I can be wrong.
Wow. I just happen to not be wrong at this time.
But...
No!
I just think a mother should breastfeed her child.
There it is. Oh my god! So close. This is horrifying! Yep, puts his entire foot in his mouth. And it goes all the way into his stomach. That's horrible. That's fucking horrible. Good shit. Good shit. The Ouroboros of bitch. That's what we're talking about. No, this was fucking good. This was fucking... I mean, it's perfect, to be fair. I mean, he's a furry. He's also into vor, right? I don't know if you're aware of this. I don't even know if this was a reference that MeatCanyon meant to do. But the reality is, he is a vor fan. There were leaked furry messages of Pirate Software with other people where they were talking about vor. Vor is literally people eating other people. And like that was a fetish of his. So this is insane. This is crazy. Oh my god. Like the levels of this is peak. This was absolute cinema. He did such a fucking good job. Now we gotta look into the entire deserved downfall of Pirate Software. Internet Anarchist made a video on this. He did like a deep dive on basically the entire downfall and how beautiful it is. And in honor of everything that's going on, I feel like we absolutely have to do this because I'll be real, this is some really enjoyable suffering. This is easily the funniest fucking suffering I've ever seen of all time. Because he did it all to himself, and he could have stopped it at any point. At any point. Like, dude, if this dude would have just said, my bad, you right? One time! This would have all been avoided. Alright, so, enjoy. Let's look at one of the funniest downfalls in internet history.
Pirate Software will go down in history as one of the most spectacular downfalls the internet has ever seen. His Twitch viewership is a third of what it used to be.
Bro, I had no idea. Wow, dude. His Twitch viewership dropped by 66%. Holy fuck. Accountability. Here's the thing. The reason why I find this so funny is because ultimately his drama is kind of a nothing burger drama too. You have to understand what I'm talking about. His drama ultimately is that he's a bitch, right? He's a bitch that can't take accountability for anything. He is like a heart, like, dude, I'll be real. I'm gonna ask you this question, and I want you to let me know your answer in the comment section below. Oh, this is my human rights tier list. That's not important for right now. But I'm gonna give you two options, okay? You're gonna tell me who is worse at taking accountability. All right. So this is Pirate Software. Pirate Software. Average TikTok woman. All right. These are your options. Let me know in the comment section below. Let me know in the comment section below who you think is actually better at not taking accountability. All right, so this is, and also, of course, we have iDubbbz. Oh, never mind. He is an average TikTok woman. Never mind, that doesn't count.
He's losing tens of thousands of subscribers on YouTube every day, and worst of all, he's become the lolcow of the internet, with millions of people raking him over the coals for everything he says or does. And at this point, he has no one to blame but himself.
Yeah, dude, I'll be real. I think this is so fucking good. Like, this downfall is absolutely priceless.
I cannot believe his ego. His ego is...
Dude, it's still crazy. Moist Critical came out of drama retirement just to clown on this retard. Oh my god. Like, when you think about it. Like, this dude has been running away from drama ever since he had, like, his take about, you know, kids transitioning or whatever, and he literally ran away from drama ever since then. Okay, and then he just came back to clown on this guy. Oh, it's diabolical.
So out of control, I feel like he's only a week or two away from exclusively referring to himself in third person, like Stone Cold Steve Austin. And that's the truth, because Pirate Software said so. Like that.
God.
It's crazy.
He could have avoided this entire controversy with just 3 words. I was wrong. But his ego and arrogance got in the way.
That's why this is so entertaining, because, like, I feel like everyone has that ego that tries to stop them from just admitting fault. Everyone has that ego, and this is what happens when you let it control you.
Way of him admitting fault, turning him from a beloved and respected figure to one of the most hated personalities on the internet, all in a matter of days. Hi,
All right.
I'm the Internet Anarchist. I create weekly YouTube documentaries, and today, we're taking a look at how you've watched multiple of my videos and aren't yet subscribed. Just kidding. We're taking a look at the deserved downfall of Pirate Software, his monumental fall from grace, and how, even after losing everything, he's continuing to make the situation worse for himself.
The fact that he just came out today saying, actually, I got awards. I got awards from Blizzard, as you can see here from this paper where I got a thank you note from my dad.
Be honest with you, I hope that your initiative gets everything you asked for, but nothing you wanted.
However,
Dude, this guy is he's like an actual enemy of the people. It's crazy how bad this got.
to fully grasp why the internet is so mad at pirate software, we have to understand what made him popular in the first place. Jason Hall, better known as Thor, originally started his career back in 2004 as a game developer for Blizzard, the company that made titles like World of Warcraft and Overwatch. After leaving his job at Blizzard, he worked at Amazon Studio for a while, before quitting from there as well and becoming a hacker for the US government.
What?
So after that, I ended
Wait, what? Wait, stop. No. Oh my god, I didn't even know this part of the lore. Dude, this guy, he's such a fraud. It's amazing. Oh, and he takes no accountability. None. Not even 1 ounce. 1 ounce of accountability. It's crazy. When's his last video? He hasn't posted a video on YouTube in over a month, dude. Oh my god. Yeah, he's cooked, bro. He's actually fucking cooked. That's crazy.
up going to work for the United States Department of Energy because I'm a hacker, offensive security guy. And
I'm a hacker for offensive security. Also a game developer at Blizzard. Also a furry that has sex with fluffy gay people.
And I hacked power plants for the federal government.
But after a year of doing his job, he resigned from there as well, and started working full-time on his indie game RPG named Heartbound in 2017. He also started doing daily live streams under the name of his studio, Pirate Software, showcasing his game development process on Twitch. However, while Heartbound saw some success in its early
his game development process on Twitch, and then it turns out he's never ever coded on Twitch. Was that really his excuse? Because he doesn't code on Twitch. Ever. Never. That was one of the big criticisms, and they found out that his coding was like 4th grade level game design.
days, even getting played by Jacksepticeye at one point, he was still relatively unknown on the internet. But then, in 2022, he made a small decision that would end up changing his life forever. On January 17th, 2022, Thor posted his first short video on YouTube titled Imposter Syndrome. It was a clip from one of his Twitch streams where he gave valuable advice to an inexperienced developer.
I don't wish to fail myself because I'm terrified of actually releasing something to the world I've worked on for over 3 years. Dear God, I am so terrified.
Hey Thornstar, that feeling never goes away. It never does.
Wow,
I am constantly afraid to release every single piece of content I ever work on in this game.
Totally understandable. You're a fraud. Dude, I love how, wait, dude, this is crazy. This aged so badly. So his first ever video on YouTube, his first ever YouTube short talked about imposter syndrome because he feels like a fraud. But he is a fraud. You are the imposter. That aged so badly. Oh my God, holy self-report. No. Oh no. Dude, I remember this clip going viral. Bro, like, you can't script this shit. Oh my Lord. Dude, God had something in plan when he invented pirate software. I'm in shock.
I'm constantly afraid to get onto stream and like not be, you know, whatever it is that people expect me to be. I am constantly afraid that I'm going to create content that no one wants to hang out with.
Oh no! His biggest fear came to light! Now no one wants to hang out with him because he's a fraud. And he's insufferable and he's an egotistical douche. Oh my God, I'm actually dying. Oh my Lord, I'm actually dying.
No one wants to look at, no one wants to care about. And that's just how that is. The thing is you can't stop. You shouldn't stop.
This ended up being a big
Oh, that aged so crazy badly. Hold on, I have to find it. Is this short still up? Pirates of the Caribbean. All right, shorts, sort by oldest, imposter syndrome. It's still up, bro.
I don't wish to fail myself.
All right, we gotta see the comments, bro. We gotta see the comments. Sort by recent, newest first. 2 weeks ago, interesting. Sounds like great advice. Add comment. This aged well. True. Oh, we have to add an even better comment. But what if you are an imposter? The true questions! The true questions!
Bigger success than he could have ever imagined, amassing over 850,000 views to date. More importantly, this short became a fantastic first impression for all these new viewers, who now saw him as someone exceptionally wise and intelligent.
He's He's opening up about his own insecurities. He feels like a fraud. You don't say! Oh God. When I make my video, my first video, when I start a new channel, I'm gonna call it, oh shit, I clicked skip. Sexist syndrome. And I'll be like, yeah, sexist syndrome is really real. It's like, I'm deathly afraid that people are going to find out that I actually hate women inside. Internalized misogyny is so true and based and real. And I'm so afraid that people are actually going to find out the truth. And then 8 years later, they're going to find out that I actually just hate women. Like, could you imagine how crazy that is? Holy.
This short became a fantastic first impression for all these new viewers, who now saw him as someone exceptionally wise and intelligent. After seeing the potential of short-form content, Thor went all in on this new format and started posting shorts almost daily. And it wasn't long before they were picked up by the YouTube algorithm. As a result, Thor became a regular presence on the YouTube homepage.
Yeah, shorts literally blew him up so much. You probably don't know this, but when he was first taking off on YouTube Shorts, every YouTuber was talking about him. Every single YouTuber was talking about this guy. Because you don't understand. His shorts were getting millions of views. Now, there is a conspiracy theory that YouTube created him. Slam Dance Psychology, thanks for the 5 subs. And YouTube, artificially boosted this guy because, well, he's a fucking industry plant. He's a professional industry plant, but you could not get this guy out of the recommendations anywhere.
Anyone even slightly interested in game development, bringing in millions of new viewers almost overnight.
Yep.
People also loved almost everything about his content, from his behind-the-curtain knowledge of game development.
Most publishers want 30 to 70% of your income from your game. 30 to 70%. Some of them want 100% upfront until they recoup their costs of marketing your game.
And random tips and tricks.
Wow, that is crazy good information. Wow.
Take your mouse and you put your mouse inside of MS Paint, and then you hold spacebar, and then you use the arrow keys, you can draw like an Etch-a-Sketch.
To his odd and often amusing opinions.
They mixed Dr. Pepper and beans. They mixed Dr. Pepper and beans. They taste like Dr. Pepper? Hell yeah, they do. And they're amazing. They are delicious.
As a fan comment on—
Damn, dude is so knowledgeable. Wow. Wow, he's so knowledgeable. Wow. Wow, Dr. Pepper and beans tastes like Dr. Pepper and beans. Holy fuck. It's crazy looking at him in retrospect and being like, wow, he was always a fraud. And anyone that actually would have been critical at the time, they would have been correct before anyone else knew. Oh, wait, that was me who called him out like 8 months ago. Oh, right, I was that guy. I was that neighbor that did that. Oh, it was me all along. The amount of shit I got for calling him out at the very beginning.
Under one of his first YouTube streams states, Thor, wow, first I've heard of you was yesterday from the shorts. You were everything I've been looking for in terms of knowledgeable game dev, storyteller, and straight up kind human. Keep it up, badass. The popularity of his content on YouTube also translated into his Twitch viewership, skyrocketing past any expectations he might have had. It reached a point where he broke the Twitch hype train record.
Nux, you're such a hater. Hell yeah, I am. I am a professional hater. Listen, I'll be real. I am a man of God. All right, now, I'm not sure if you're aware, but the literal head honcho of the 7 deadly sins is pride. When I see a downfall purely powered by pride and nicotine, I have to say personally, it makes me happy. It makes me happy. Pride is his entire fucking downfall. Let this be a lesson to you. Okay, let this be a lesson to you. Have a ounce of humility. 1 ounce of humility, ladies and gentlemen, and you would avoid all of this.
4 different times and gained over 80,000 paid subscribers on the platform. By 2024, Thor's career had reached an all-time high. Millions of fans eagerly consumed everything he released, and the vast majority held him in very high regard. As a thankful viewer puts it, this is the most motivating and helpful individual I've found in the game dev space.
Get better idols!
And that's saying quite a lot, as most devs are so helpful and encouraging. This man makes me feel like my dreams are within my grasp, and that's so rare to find.
He makes me feel like my dreams are within my grasp. Oh my god, I feel like with only an incredibly minor amount of studying, I can literally catch up to you. Because you can! Because you can! Lowest expectations of all time. Thank you so much for the kind comment,
He was on track to become one of the legendary figures of online gaming, right alongside the likes of Jacksepticeye and Markiplier.
How dare you? How dare you put these people next to each other? Like, what are you talking about?
But then, 2025 rolled around, and a single live stream nearly shattered the trust and support Thor had spent years building.
Whoa, whoa, whoa. In his defense, he was out of mana.
I didn't play well. Other people in the group didn't play well. They pinned it on me. That's it. There was one of the players that was very vocal about saying it was all my fault, and then the rest of the community rallied around it. And now it's become a content play for people to pick at me, and that's kind of it.
It all started.
Oh my god, content? People making fun of me for content? Well, I never. Making fun of me for content? Diabolical. Unreal.
On January 12th, 2025, when Thor decided to stream a hardcore World of Warcraft.
I know that he's like going into this chronologically, and I get it, but you have to realize what for me was like so bad. It's his Heartbound game that he was working on for years that never really came out, and the game was absolute dog shit. The fact that he claimed forever that he worked at Blizzard without ever having anything to actually show for all of that shit. All right, the unbridled narcissism that he literally had forever. All right, all of these things I think were definitely heading me towards that right direction. And I'll be real, what I'm about to tell you is not something that people are going to appreciate. But the reality is, if someone is a degenerate freak, they generally end up being a degenerate freak in more than one way. This dude had unbelievable amounts of weird, furry, roleplay, sexual conversations with what seemed to be, in my opinion, this is not an allegation, okay? This is just what I remember, seemed to be minors. Or rather, people that were not super comfortable with it. Again, I don't know exactly what's going on there. I don't know the exact ages of the people, so take it with a grain of salt and do your own research, of course. I have looked into this in the past, but that's fucked up. That's crazy fucked up. It really is. And you read those conversations and the way he would manipulate people. Yeah, I'll be real, dog. I'll be real. That's crazy. That's crazy. He would be mad when other people do roleplay cheat on him with other furries, and it's like, dog, come on, dude. This dude's not, he's not all there, bro. This dude's a degenerate freak. And it ends up bleeding out into other areas. Surprise, surprise.
Raid with other streamers and veteran players. At one point during the raid, the situation became dire, and instead of helping his teammates in any way, Thor decided to run away.
You know what Thor says when he meets up with his furry girlfriend and then they're about to have sex, but he can't seem to climax? Do you know what he tells her? I'm literally out of mana. What do you expect me to do?
This resulted in 2 other players' characters dying, which for those of you who aren't familiar with World of Warcraft hardcore, this means that those characters were now lost forever. The players would have to grind the game for weeks to get back to the same level again.
Yep.
But rather than admitting fault or even showing remorse, Thor decided to be arrogant about it and put all the blame on others.
Because you're angry right now. Of course I ran.
Don't be angry.
You overpulled 2 packs. You overpulled 2 packs and a boss. I had 1,400 mana left. I had to spend all of that mana to try and put it on Blizzard to save you guys in the first place, and nothing left. You weren't paying attention to party resources, you overpulled, and you weren't paying attention to where the boss was. That's not on me.
This showed the ego.
He is so unbelievably snarky, it's crazy. He's so insufferable. It's not on me. It's literally all your fault. I will take 0 accountability. Dude, and you wonder why this dude's single, man. You really do. Like, in a relationship, even when it's not your fault, you take some of the blame. You know that? You take some of the blame because you don't want it literally to all be on your partner, okay? Because that's crushing. Share the burden. You don't need to be the asshole that sits there and says it's literally all on you. Come on, unbelievable. And he wonders why his furry roleplay girlfriend cheated on him with other furries roleplaying. The shock of shocks.
Artistical side of Thor that admittedly was already present in his content.
I was always there.
It's shit. Not only do I not want to back this, I'm going to actively tell people not to. That is awful. That is a horrible goddamn direction.
But his fans didn't pay much attention to it, since till this point, Thor was seen as a passionate, talented developer who genuinely cared about the gaming community. So
and that's why they harassed the shit out of me when I made my first video talking about him. That's why they all came after me. Nux, you're just slouching. You're trying to take down this wonderful, beautiful man. Look at his wide smile and fake voice. Absolutely not.
His occasional cockiness was written off as confidence rather than a red flag. However, even after getting called out by other streamers,
what the hell, man? Why not just apologize?
Like I said, huge pirate fan, love the content. This is not the look.
Thor did not budge, and even doubled down.
Wants me to sit down, grovel on my knees and be like, I'm so sorry, Mr. Yamato. It was all my fault, the mage. I won't do it again. I'm so sorry that tank...
Dude, it's a fucking video game. Just say, my bad, I could have played better. Sorry. Like, dude, that's all it would take. Oh my god, eat my entire ass, brother.
Overpulled 2 packs and a boss. Oh man, oh god. Next time I'll save you from the big mean 2 packs and a boss that tank pulled. Are you kidding me, dude?
This incident put his behavior into a completely different light. While this controversy faded away in a few weeks, it formed the first crack in Thor's impeccable online reputation.
There it is.
And it's only been downhill from there. But to fully understand the controversy that's killing Thor's career, we have to go back in time to the end of 2023. On December 14th, 2023, Ubisoft announced that it would be shutting down the servers for its multiplayer racing game called The Crew in April of 2024. However, unlike many other
Dude, I have an actual image of Thor in high school. A lot of people don't actually have this. So, this is a picture of Thor in high school, actually. I don't know if this counts as doxing. I don't think it counts as doxing, honestly, because, like, you could technically find it if you look hard enough. So, I'm not going to dox him with this personally. Someone else already did the doxing. So, what I'm about to show, this is Thor in high school. As you can see, he's locked in here. And yeah, and it never changed since then. He's in this one. He's in there. That was mean. So mean. Holy shit.
multiplayer games where an internet connection is only needed for playing against others online.
That was a joke, Pirate Software. Don't sue me for defamation. That was really funny, okay? It was a joke.
The crew requires...
Because he also threatens everyone with lawsuits, which is a giant, huge, tiny penis maneuver.
Players to be online at all times. In other words, Ubisoft shutting down the servers meant that players would no longer be able to access the game they paid for. This also meant losing access to the game's single-player campaign, which should have been fully offline. This sparked intense online backlash, as players felt like they were being robbed of the game they paid for with their hard-earned money. What made the situation even worse was that this wasn't the first game to shut down like this, and it was clear it wouldn't be the last. So to fight back against greedy publishers, Ross from Accursed Farms spent months creating a potential solution.
But now we have a new option, proposing new law, and for the entire European Union. It took months to get put together and processed, but now we have a European Citizens Initiative devoted to halting the destruction of video games.
Oh, God.
This would require publishers to leave games they have sold to customers in a working state at the time of shutdown,
without
any further connection to them or affiliated parties for the games to function.
This solution took the form of a petition, which, unlike the largely useless Change.org petitions, had actual legal weight. If this petition reached 1 million signatures, lawmakers in the EU were legally required to discuss the matter in an official setting. And if passed, this new law would require game makers to ensure that their games are still playable after they stop.
Which is an obviously good thing, by the way, right? Obviously, you'd think that this is something you should fight for. As a consumer, if you pay for a game and you purchase the game, you should be able to keep the game. One of the modern bullshit systems in modern times, all right? I'm not even exaggerating when I say this, all right? In the modern era, one of the biggest bullshit crap that they're trying to pull on you guys is that they're trying to make believe that they're not selling you anything, all right? That buying isn't owning, and piracy is still stealing. Piracy is stealing, but purchasing isn't owning, and you own nothing, and you will own nothing, and you will be happy, all right? Houses are too expensive to afford, real estate is too expensive to afford, and even the fucking games, even the video games that you buy, you don't own. They want you to own nothing, where all of the things are owned ultimately by mega corporations at the very, very top. And it's diabolical. It's diabolical. It really is. It's and the funniest thing is, in my opinion, the fact that Pirate Software is on that side of history. Like, literally on that side of history.
Stop supporting them.
We're just trying to stop games from being destroyed. That's it. So we're taking as narrow an approach as possible that still solves the problem. If we get enough signatures, then this goes before the European Union to be considered as new law.
This would be a net positive outcome for gamers around the world. Unfortunately, this initiative had one major weakness right from the get-go, and that was Ross's reach. You see, his subscriber count was just a third of the number of signatures needed to make this a success. And since he's based in the US, most of these subs weren't eligible EU citizens either. So to counteract this weakness, Ross called out other creators and asked them to spread the word about this initiative. He even made himself available for any interviews or follow-up discussions.
Yeah, he was on our podcast. We talked to him, yeah.
If you're watching this, you may be a critical link in all this, because you can tell other YouTubers, streamers, etc. about this initiative, and maybe they'll pick it up. Now, I'm offering myself for interviews, publicity on this issue, whatever, to almost anyone with a European audience of some size.
And that's where Thor entered the picture. He came across the Stop Killing Games initiative in August of 2024. Now,
their European Asmongold doing his absolute best. Nah, I respect it.
Given his history.
And now, color me surprised and shocked when Pirate Software Jason Hall decided, I'm gonna take the side of the mega corporations. Like, literally, how could you do this? How could you possibly do this?
Of speaking in favor of the gamers and developers, and against greedy publishers, people naturally expected him to throw his full support behind the campaign. However, this couldn't have been further from the truth.
Now, this is actually really dumb. It's used car salesman garbage. This is shit. Not only do I not want to back this, I'm going to actively tell people not to.
Not only
that is direct boycotting. He is boycotting a movement that's done, by the way, for free. Okay, he is working against a free movement that costs people nothing to potentially own games. Why would you possibly boycott this? Like, I mean, unless he's an industry plant, unless he's literally a fucking insider plant for Activision or Blizzard or his own game company that he doesn't, because maybe he is planning on releasing a game that he doesn't want to stay up. He just wants to release it and take it down. Who knows? He is such a fraud. It's unbelievable.
Only did he dislike the idea of Stop Killing Games, his choice of words was harsh to say the least.
That is awful. That is a horrible direction. That's awful, dude. No, eat my entire ass. The level of stupid that I just had to receive was like sitting on Twitter for 12 hours. This sucks. That's a really stupid move. That's incredibly stupid.
Eat my entire
I think
ass.
this is complete garbage. All of this can eat
my
that.
God.
I dropped the mask entirely. I have no qualms about that. They can eat my entire.
This was a shock to many of his viewers, so Thor published 2 full videos to clarify his point of view further. And while these videos saw plenty of pushback from fans who were flabbergasted by his decision to oppose what they saw as something good, it ultimately resulted in the Stop Killing Games movement receiving significantly less support than it would have if Thor supported it as well. You have to remember that this was all before the World of Warcraft hardcore fiasco. Back then, the broader gaming community still viewed Thor as a beacon of insight and authority in game development. Ross tried to combat the negative reception by publishing a FAQ video to clear any misconceptions about Stop Killing Games.
Crazy. Insane. Suck my entire dick. Suck my entire ass. Eat my entire butthole. Yeah. This guy that's doing something literally, like, you don't understand, this dude's actually devoting his life and time and effort to fight for a good cause, and here you have some random nepo baby corporate fucktard that decides to torpedo the movement for literally no reason. Because, well, to be honest, he was doing a YouTube challenge at the time. This is not actually covered by most of the drama people. Like, most of the people covering the story, they're not fully aware of this. Pirate Software was in the middle of doing a challenge video. How long can you survive purely on Blizzard Cum? It was a challenge that he was running for himself. So far, he managed for a very long time. He tried to make sure that that the record wouldn't break, and you know, unfortunately he reacted to the entire Stop Killing Games initiative while he was in the stretch to win the actual survivability on Blizzard Cum speedrun.
Unfortunately, this wasn't as effective as he would have liked, resulting in Stop Killing Games losing all momentum and essentially becoming dead on arrival. Is 2025 and turning an idea into an online business.
I have never seen this guy's face before. Oh my god.
To be lightning fast. So Odor's e-commerce tool and the website and users. It looked like, despite Ross's good intentions, his initiative was doomed to fail spectacularly. But then, he did something that no one saw coming. On June 22nd, 2025, Ross uploaded an hour-long video titled "The End of Stop Killing Games," talking about the disappointing state of the petition.
The European Citizens Initiative failing kind of stings. Again, this one is crazy powerful, but the hurdle we just couldn't get past was that it requires 1 million signatures from citizens of EU countries, and we've only made it just under halfway.
And after thanking many of the creators that voiced their support for their campaign, he shifted his focus towards the elephant in the room, the one creator whose coverage was straight up poisonous for the initiative, Thor.
This video came out right as we were building momentum, then except for one boost in Germany, the signatures started drying up like clockwork.
Ross also revealed why he didn't make a direct response to Thor until now.
This put me in kind of a no-win scenario too, because if I ignored it, then a lot of people were going to get misinformed about the campaign.
Oh god.
But if I did a response video, which is not something I wanted to do anyway, then it might look like drama farming, which could understandably turn off a lot of people from the campaign, because it's not about that at all.
So ultimately, shout out to Pirate Software. If not for your unbridled levels of cum guzzling and retardation, we would have never made it this far. Thank you for being the villain. I'll be real. Lord of the Rings would be nothing without Sauron. All right, Harry Potter would be nothing without Voldemort. Naruto would be nothing without Madara. You need a villain. Pirate Software, I want to thank you. I want to thank you for being a professional retard. Your sacrifice was a sacrifice I was willing to make. I was willing to make. I am so grateful and appreciative that you decided to tank your entire career, delete 380 videos, and lose 400,000 subscribers, as well as 66% of your actual live viewership. Your sacrifice was a sacrifice I am so proud to have made. Thank you so much. I honestly, I would sacrifice as many furries as required. This is diabolical.
I quickly made this video trying to clear up all misconceptions and concerns about the initiative, with timestamps for everyone's questions, hoping the truth would eventually come out. I can see now that was a mistake. I should have just embraced the drama.
At this point, Stop Killing Games was already on track to be a failure, so this video was one last push from Ross to make a difference. Surprisingly, this worked better than anyone could have ever expected, and one big reason for that was what Ross revealed about Thor, because as it turned out, Thor misunderstood and misrepresented the whole thing.
If you tried misunderstood, it's because he's a slimy, weaselly little fuck, alright? Let's be honest here, dude. Let's be honest, he's a slimy bitch.
They tell me that every studio needs to run their live service game indefinitely or not want to run one at all, then no one's going to run them.
Oh no! He wheeled out that line about publishers having to support the game forever. He was literally watching the video earlier where it says it won't do that in big letters. That wasn't enough. We just can't stop gamers from going there, even when we—
No, you can't stop people from going there because he is a unreliable narrator. He is a bad actor. He is a bad actor, dude. Unreal, bro. Like, oh my god. Dude, this is the guy that, you know, commits arson and lights his own house on fire to collect from the insurance company. All right, and the response is like, "Oh my god, I can't believe he didn't read the clause in the insurance where it says that he can't literally light his own house on fire." No, he fucking knew that. He's doing it on purpose.
We spell it out.
And Ross was having none of it.
It hurts to see the biggest voice on this issue get it wrong again and again and again. Then put that—
I mean, to be fair, he worked at Blizzard for 4 years. As the first ever second-generation Blizzard employee.
Wrong information on blast to a far bigger audience than we can reach. It hurts. He doesn't get it. He doesn't understand what we're asking for.
He even called out the clear contradiction Thor made in his own argument just seconds apart.
I think live service games getting sunsetted is fine. I've always thought that. And that's okay. There's nothing—
Because you are a corporate shill! Of course you think it's okay! Because you are on the side of the corpos! Leave my billion-dollar company alone! This is like the Genshin Impact fans guzzling, you know, Chinese cum, trying to come up with reasons why Genshin is ethical and moral and a great game. Like, it's unreal!
wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with that at all. I have no problems with the end of a video game.
See, I wish he started his big YouTube video with that message instead of deleting it. Instead, he presented himself as pro-preservation and not wanting the medium to die out.
It's incredibly important to me that we keep making games and that the next generation has the tools to do so that our medium doesn't die out. And it never will. And that's the whole intention of all of this.
So he doesn't want games to die out, except he's fine with that. I think there's some cognitive dissonance going on.
It's not just okay. So what he's trying to say is, essentially, the way this game worked is, his issue is he wants the gaming companies to be able to release games and be able to remove games and retroactively steal the games back that you already purchased, because if you can't do that, then people will just stop making games. This is like actual retard logic. Literally no one will say this. He's trying to pander to both sides. Of course he's not trying to pander to both sides. Dude, he literally has cock, balls, and shaft inside of his throat while he's trying to garble out sentences that make partial sense about how he's trying to save the industry by giving all the money and power to the corporations. Okay? Are you absolutely insane? Dude, unbelievable.
On there.
This video showed that Thor's distaste for the Stop Killing Games initiative is based on complete misinterpretations, which in turn called his credibility as an experienced and knowledgeable developer in question. However, before Thor had even a chance to respond, Ross's new video reached the one man who could bring this issue to a mainstream audience.
It's the GOAT.
Charlie.
And there is an initiative that has been aiming to fight back against a lot of these practices that I think really need some big overhaul. Stop destroying things that people have paid money to own.
It's literally that fucking simple. It's literally that simple. And it's so sad that it takes so long for society to realize this.
I think that is a very understandable, very reasonable take. Very agreeable.
And he called out Thor's incorrect interpretation of the initiative as well.
He didn't even get the Cliff Notes summary right. He missed all the QTEs and got the bad ending on understanding the initiative from the jump here. Ross is correct. This has nothing to do with just single-player only games that require an online connection, that when the online connection is severed, you lose access to the game. Like, yeah, that is included in all of this, but that's not, like, what the whole movement is about. And for some reason, Pirate Software is stun-locked on that, like, fixated, as if that is the actual, like, meat and potatoes of Stop Killing Games. They need to be more specific in their language about it being single-player, always online connectivity games. When that's just not what it's about. Like, they're not being specific about that because that is not what they are specifically targeting.
This video from Charlie was a godsend for Stop Killing Games, as it exposed the idea.
Every single time I see people talking about this, everyone's like trying their best. Because again, no one wants to get in the bad graces of Thor, right? Thor ultimately is a massive YouTuber with a massive community that's well respected. No one wants to actually get on his bad side. Well, no one except for this blue retard over here. I think that everyone is handling this inappropriately, to be honest. Everyone's like trying their best to say, no, Thor misunderstood this, he misunderstood that, this was misinterpreted. Bro, this man wants to suck furry penis while he is sitting there trying to destroy an initiative that is literally there for the consumers. Okay? This guy sucks. You've got to stop. Stop, bro. Oh my god. His career is over because it turns out he has a big ego. Yeah, and he's also a corporate shill. He is an actual industry plant. We are seeing it in real time. This man he exists to shill the mega corporations to the people. You know, that is why he is around, okay? Unbelievable. Oh my god, dude. Unreal. He's a vindictive bitch, bro. He really is. Always trying to get a little more corporate cum down his throat. That's what's going on, okay? He's trying to make a name for himself in the industry. I mean, I don't know what he's trying to do right now, you know, because his career is mega cooked, and he was trying to become a game developer guy with Ludwig's company, which he had to leave. And obviously his game is probably never going to come out. This dude is treated as a guy with a big ego that was wrong about Stop Killing Games. You're wrong. He is a guy with a big ego that's vindictively pushing a narrative and fighting as a shadow member of the corporate class of these bitch fuck companies, all right, doing his absolute best to leech from the greater community by allegedly being this down-to-earth, really knowledgeable guy, all cock, no cum, big ego, tiny penis, eating ass, and he's a furry, which honestly is worse than all of those things that I've mentioned. All of them. Literally worse than all. He's also a furry. He's literally a furry, guys. Like, what are we doing?
Idea to over...
Asmongold still defends Thor, won't accept he's doing this on purpose. I know! I don't fault Asmongold. Everyone has the right to an opinion, but I really see him as vindictive. Absolutely. And honestly, if you want me to take it a step further, and people aren't saying it, I think he's scamming his audience with his game, right? Raising money for a game that he never works on that should have come out like 5 years ago. Like, come on, dude. What are we doing? Literally all cock, no cum. He really is.
Yeah, I've worked at Blizzard for 23 years. I'm developing a game. Definitely send me money.
Then it turns out he's not a guy that really worked at Blizzard in game development, and his game never actually came out. What are we doing, guys? Why are we treating this guy as just a guy with a big ego that oopsie poopsie he messed up and couldn't apologize? Unreal what we're talking about. Disgusting.
For 3.4 million people. More importantly, it highlighted Thor's flawed take and the damage it did to an otherwise positive movement.
Flawed take. It's not a flawed take. It's a malicious take that was designed to destroy a movement that was hurting his corpo buddies.
Following Charlie's video, several...
It is so wild looking at it from this perspective, right? Like, looking at it from this perspective, like, we're in the future right now, okay? So we could look back at it. I was right the entire time. I was right the whole fucking time about this guy. Like, literally. And people are still trying their absolute best to kind of phrase him as just a guy with a big ego that oopsie poopsie, and not an actual bad actor.
Other creators also came forwards with their support for the initiative, including Jacksepticeye, The Actman, PewDiePie, and many more. The story was also picked up by countless commentary YouTubers, resulting in Thor once again receiving pushback for his opposition of stop killing games. But unlike last time, where it sort of fizzled out within weeks, the backlash wasn't showing any signs of slowing down. He started losing subscribers and followers across all platforms, and everything he did online got flooded with dislikes and angry comments, like, essentially, you will own nothing and be happy. I reject that. Achievement unlocked, being wrong on all levels. Many of these commenters were even his own loyal fans, who now saw him as a corporate shill more than a genuinely well-intentioned developer. As a casual follower ever since the beta release of Heartbound, this is extremely disappointing to watch. The backlash was so overwhelming that it seemed like nothing he said could soften the blow or calm.
He didn't even try to suffer the blow! Oh my god, he didn't even try to soften the blow. He still defended himself. He kept doubling and tripling and quadrupling down.
The outrage. However, that's not true. He still had a chance to retain some of the trust his viewers had put in him. All he had to do was admit fault, apologize, and support the Stop Killing Games initiative. But knowing Thor, that was never going to happen. Just as he did after the hardcore World of Warcraft incident, Thor decided to double down here as well and stick to his stance, regardless of how wrong he was, stating, "For those that will scream his doubling down, yes, I am. I give about this initiative and what it means for games, developers, and players in the future." Near the end of this tweet, he also stated, "Just because I don't support this doesn't mean you should blindly follow me in that. Just because I said pretty words on the internet, you also shouldn't blindly bash me because some other creator said to. Watch the..."
You see what I mean? Do you see exactly what I mean? Like, do you see what I mean? Just because I called him a pedophile, it doesn't mean he rapes children, alright? But just because someone else said that he's not a pedophile doesn't mean he doesn't rape children. It's like, dude, what the fuck response is this? Like, dude, just say, oops, I messed up. That's literally it. Like,
just because I say something, it doesn't mean you should support me.
Dude, you literally said that you will actively advise people not support the initiative.
The videos I put out, read the initiative, decide for yourself, apply critical thinking, and don't outsource it to others.
Don't outsource it to others. Do all this research. He expects 1 million people to do the research, to read it himself and call up their fucking politicians and talk to them about it and do the research. Like, what are we doing?
Completely disregarding the responsibility he had as a creator that millions looked up to at one point. Not to mention, this also went against what he said in his initial reaction.
Not only do I not want to back this, I'm going to actively tell people not to.
What do you mean tell people not to? Shouldn't they be reading into it and not making their own decision and not actually following your advice? Oh my god, Pirate Cookware losing again.
His attitude only angered the internet more, forcing him to step away from off-brand games, the game studio Ludwig founded with his friend.
Bye, you will be missed, bye.
However, Thor couldn't help but turn this into a source of embarrassment as well. You see, he announced his leave in a tweet, reading, "I'm no longer working at off-brand games. People were attacking all of the games we were publishing."
Remember this! Dude, he is such a fucking bitch. It's unbelievable. Unreal, dude!
And trying to mass review bomb them. You can dislike the things I say, but this kind of behavior is unhinged.
Yeah, but then you do a little bit of research, and there was no review bombing. He's claiming he left off-brand games because of all the hate. That's a lie!
When people checked the games published by off-brand games, they didn't find a noticeable uptick in negative reviews. In other words, Thor straight up lied about his reasoning for leaving the studio.
You wanna know my hot take? Ludwig fucking raked that dude over the coals. Jellywig kicked him, bro. Let's up those numbers. He's gone. Goodbye. Definitely subscribe to me so I can get more subscribers.
He could have simply been honest and admitted that he was stepping away to prevent any backlash from hitting the studio, which had nothing to do with his personal opinions, but his ego wouldn't let him. Instead, he chose to lie and ended up getting caught red-handed. That said, all the hate towards Thor did have the positive effect of making the Stop Killing Games movement go viral. This has resulted in it not only reaching its goal within days, but shooting past it with over 200,000 more at the time.
Look, that's why I personally say, shout out to Pirate Software. Shout out to Pirate Software. Your sacrifice was a sacrifice I am willing to make. Thank you so much for being an unbridled retard. Honestly, it makes me happy. Without the retards in the world, I wouldn't even have content to make. So I'd like to take this moment, and I think all of us should too as well. All right, I am obviously a wholesome, uplifting channel. I would like to take this moment to thank God. God, thank you for creating the retards. They make this world more interesting. Thank you, God. All right, moving on. That was just a silent prayer, thanking God for the retards.
Time of writing. Thor, however, still cannot admit defeat. After the petition reached its goal, he made a tweet that contained a mixture of denial and boasting at the same time.
I love this tweet! Dude, this guy's fucking awesome. What a legend. What a hero. What a goat. That's my guy.
Stating,
that's my guy!
The most interesting narrative is that my video somehow killed the initiative. This graph showed that the initiative already had a downward trend in interest when my videos dropped. My videos do not seem to have had any impact on the movement at all. Making me the villain did though. Best of luck with your next steps.
Dude, look at this tweet. It's like, when I told people not to sign up to the initiative, it actually didn't affect it at all, but making me the villain for literally no reason saved the day. Basically, I did it. Pirate Software was the hero all along, okay? All right? In defense of Pirate Software, he was literally there the entire time. What a goat. All right, what a good-ass guy. Am I right, guys? Bro found a way to take credit for trying to destroy a movement that cooked him back. Dude, this is diabolical levels of ego. I'm telling you, man. Pride is truly the most deadly of the sins.
And as expected from him at this point, he was completely wrong once again. The graph he shared showed the lifetime signatures for the petition. If we zoom into the first 2 months instead, we can clearly see the momentum fall off a cliff the second Thor reacted to Stop Killing Games on his stream. As
like the graph immediately disproves him also.
For his line about becoming the villain, Charlie had some necessary feedback on that.
I cannot believe his ego. His ego is so out of control, I feel like he's only a week or two away from exclusively referring to himself in third person, like Stone Cold and Steve Austin. And that's the truth, cause Pirate Software said so. Yeah. Some like that. It's crazy how he's responded. The smugness is nails on a chalkboard. It just makes you feel icky listening to it.
Even when he's trying to back down, he can't help but create more drama.
I've been called a corporate plant, degenerate, narcissist, nepo baby, and many other names.
All right, where's the lie? Do you deny any of it? Do you deny a single word of it? Tell me if it's true. Where's the lie?
And they attacked all the accomplishments over my life, despite...
What accomplishments? What accomplishments were attacked? Notice how he doesn't debunk any of these things.
Physical evidence to prove to the contrary. And they also went after every job I ever held, trying to say that I never worked them, or if I did work them, that I never deserved them. So I'm going to be honest with you. I hope that your initiative gets everything you asked for, but nothing you wanted.
Effectively saying,
What an unbelievable bitch. Oh my god, how do you... What a child!
that what Stop Killing Games is asking for is not what gamers want, and somehow he's the only one who knows this.
He's the only one that gets it. He's the only one that truly gets it. You see, most people view the world as like a four-dimensional hypercube, alright? But he has managed to surpass that. He has found nirvana. He is probably the angriest lesbian on the internet.
Which makes sense when you consider the fact that even Dr. K, a trained psychologist, recognized Thor as a highly arrogant person.
I think sometimes the things that I talk about in regards to those types of things is misconstrued as arrogance or boasting, when in reality, I'm just trying to give context.
So that is the problem right there. So I want you to listen to this phrase. This gets misconstrued as arrogance, but in reality, it's this.
Right.
Yeah.
That is the most arrogant statement on the planet, bro. Like, tell me I'm wrong.
Okay, I don't see it that way, but all right.
At the end of the day, Thor is simply too far.
I just don't understand why you think it's arrogant when I say that when people call me arrogant, they're just mistaken because I'm actually just superior than they are. It's not like a personal thing, it's just my intelligence and my experience as a game developer for Blizzard. It's just, I am a lion surrounded in a herd by a herd of sheep, retarded sheep. I am a smart lion surrounded by retarded sheep. It's not easy to be me, Pirate Software Thor, Pirate Software himself. Disappointment to my father, perhaps. But that's because he is also a retarded sheep.
Far gone. He had months to set things right, but he didn't, because in his mind, he could never be wrong. Now, that egotistical viewpoint has become the reason for his disastrous yet deserved downfall, leaving him with two options for the future. He can still admit that he was wrong and apologize.
Too little, too late, motherfucker, that's not happening.
This wouldn't stop the backlash anytime soon, but some people will recognize his attempt to correct his mistake and start supporting him again, allowing him to eventually build a solid fan base once again. Or he can continue down the path he's already going, stay firm on his stance, and eventually turn into the perpetual lolcow of the internet, where the only time someone remembers him is to make fun of him. Of course, he could also try to make a comeback in the future and fail miserably, just like the Liver King. Click the video.
Damn. Yeah, anyway, definitely subscribe to me for future content because I'm always right and I say the things that people are too scared to say. Also, definitely check out Internet Anarchist. I'll be linking him in the description. This was a great video. This was a really good video. I'm really happy. I'm really happy that we did this. I feel like looking at this like from a retrospective, right? After it's all done, like, holy shit, it paints the picture so much better. Bro is literally all cock, no cum, trying his absolute best. I'll see you in the next one, gamers, and stay weird, fam. Like, subscribe, and this video was streamed live on kick.com/Nuxanor. See you there. Stay weird, fam.